Imagine this. You're holding a coin in your pocket right now. It jingles, it feels ordinary. But what if I told you that very same coin could secretly hold a treasure so rare, so powerful, and so unbelievably valuable that it could change your life in a single heartbeat? These are not just pieces of change. These are relics of American history, artifacts of struggle, art, and survival. Coins that carry stories from nearly a century ago. Coins that today have stunned the world by crossing auction stages with jaw-dropping values. Stay with me because tonight, on Rare Coin Secrets USA, we are unlocking the vault of hidden treasures. The top 10 most valuable, ultra-rare, antique buffalo nickel varieties still surfacing in everyday pocket change. Yes, you heard me right. Coins that look like simple nickels, but in reality they're worth more than a fortune chest of gold. And if you think I am exaggerating, wait until you see the market values revealed at the end of each story. This is your moment. This is your discovery. And if you are watching this video right now, it is because destiny has chosen you to uncover the treasures hidden in plain sight. Now buckle up, because we're starting with a breathtaking legend in the Buffalo Nickel series, a coin so dark, so mysterious, and so powerful that collectors around the world fight tooth and nail to own even a single example. The year was 1927. America was in the roaring 20s, an era of jazz, industrial boom, and silent struggle. On the western frontier, Native American culture still breathed its proud heritage, and the United States Mint, inspired by this living spirit, created a coin that would forever become an icon of American coinage, the Buffalo Nickel. But among the coins struck that year, one stands out like a shadowed diamond, the 1927 Buffalo Nickel carrying the rare Denver D mint mark. This coin is unlike any ordinary nickel. Its composition is the classic 75% copper and 25% nickel alloy, giving it that silver-gray luster, but time has worked its magic on certain specimens. The one we speak of today has taken on a stunning antique black shade, an almost mystical darkened patina that makes the features of the Native American chief on the obverse and the mighty American bison on the reverse leap out with incredible depth and intensity. This blackened antique appearance isn't damage. It's character. It's history crystallized on metal, a look that collectors crave with burning passion because it transforms the coin into something that feels like it was unearthed from a hidden time capsule. The story of this coin goes deeper. The Denver Mint had lower production runs compared to Philadelphia, meaning far fewer of these pieces ever entered circulation. Add to that the fact that the Buffalo Nickel design, while breathtaking, was notoriously prone to wearing down quickly in circulation. The details of the Native Americans' feathered headdress and the bison's shaggy fur would vanish with even moderate handling, which makes finding one today in very fine condition with bold details still intact nothing short of extraordinary. And when you combine rarity, condition, and that antique black beauty, you don't just have a coin, you have a masterpiece. Collectors worldwide recognize this nickel as a crown jewel of the Buffalo series. It's not just a collectible, it is a status symbol. When this coin appears at auction, bidding wars erupt with a ferocity that leaves audiences breathless. The demand is overwhelming, the supply is vanishingly small, and the value has skyrocketed into a realm most people would never dare to imagine for something as small as a nickel. And let's speak truth, this is not fiction. The current market value of a genuine 1927 D Buffalo nickel in this antique black shade, preserved in very fine condition, has shocked the numismatic world by commanding an auction price of $195,000. Yes, $195,000 US dollars. This is not a dream. This is not exaggeration. This is the current real market price, a price that can make you feel as if you have stumbled upon a hidden treasure chest of unimaginable wealth. Coins like this are not just currency, they are investments that grow more powerful every single year. Their value rises like a tidal wave, unstoppable, undeniable, a truth that collectors know and embrace. For collectors, this coin is a message. Patience and passion are rewarded. If you ever come across a 1927 D Buffalo nickel in similar antique black tone, do not dismiss it. Do not treat it as ordinary change. Hold it, protect it, and guard it like the treasure it truly is. For in your hands, you may be holding the ticket to history, the key to a fortune, and the proof that even the smallest coin can hold the weight of an empire. The conclusion is simple. The 1927 D Buffalo nickel with that antique black shade is not just a collectible. It's a legacy. It's a treasure that proves without question that hidden riches still exist in the most unexpected places, perhaps even in your pocket right now. And remember, here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, you're not just watching videos, you're joining a faithful, trustful community that brings you the freshest, truest daily updates on treasures that could change your life forever. Stay tuned, because the next coin on our list might just leave you speechless. The year 1936 was a year of resilience. America was clawing its way out of the Great Depression. Families were scraping every cent to survive. Bread lines, steel mills, and the heartbeat of a nation struggling but never giving up. All of that history is locked inside the coins minted that year. And among them, one coin has risen from the ashes of time to become one of the most powerful legends in the Buffalo Nickel series. I am speaking of the 1936 Buffalo Nickel, the one without any mint mark. At first glance, you might think it is just another ordinary coin struck in Philadelphia. But let me tell you right now, this piece is anything but ordinary. It is silent, it is stealthy, and it hides a secret power that only the sharpest collectors recognize. The composition remains the classic copper-nickel blend, 75% copper, 25% nickel. But what sets this specimen apart is its black antique patina. It looks almost ghostly, as if time itself has wrapped it in a cloak of shadow. That blackened tone does something extraordinary. It magnifies every detail of the Native American profile on the obverse. The feathers of the headdress, the sharp cheekbones, the gaze that carries centuries of heritage, they all leap forward like a sculpture in stone. And when you flip it over, that American bison, massive and proud, looks as if it is emerging from the mists of history. This is no ordinary circulation coin. This is a relic, a phantom preserved in metal. Now here's where the suspense deepens. The 1936 no-mint mark nickel should have been common. Millions were struck in Philadelphia. And yet finding one in very fine condition, especially with that antique black tone, has proven nearly impossible. Most of these coins wore down to flat surfaces long ago. Generations spent them, scratched them, tossed them aside. But when a survivor emerges, collectors know it instantly. It's like spotting a rare jewel glinting in the dirt. And make no mistake, collectors fight like warriors for this coin. Demand is fierce, and supply is nearly non-existent. When one comes to the auction block, the atmosphere turns electric. Dealers lean forward, phones buzz with international bids, and the price climbs higher and higher until silence falls and the hammer drops. So what is the truth of its worth? Let me pull the curtain back for you. A genuine 1936 Buffalo nickel, without a mint mark, in black shade antique condition, very fine grade, has shocked the world by achieving a current market value of $185,000. Yes, $185,000, real, present, and absolutely current. This is not a fantasy number. This is treasure, alive and breathing in today's auction markets. Think of it, a coin that could slip through your fingers in a handful of pocket change, yet it holds the power of a treasure chest that could change your destiny overnight. The price of this coin is not static. It is a living flame, growing brighter with every passing year. Every serious collector knows this. The value is increasing day by day, and the trajectory is unstoppable. If you ever come across one, don't dismiss it, don't spend it, don't let it go. This is a piece of American history that the world is chasing, and once it is in your hands, you are holding not just a coin, but a legacy. My advice to collectors is this: learn to recognize the silent phantoms. The no-mint mark Buffalo nickels from 1936 might seem unassuming, but under the right conditions, they become treasures that rival gold. If you want to build a collection that stands as an empire, you need to seek these hidden giants. The conclusion is clear. The 1936 no-mint mark Buffalo nickel, especially in antique black shade and fine condition, is not a coin you stumble upon lightly. It is a discovery, a treasure, a once-in-a-lifetime fortune waiting for the one who recognizes its power. And here, on Rare Coin Secrets USA, I will keep revealing these miracles, faithfully, truthfully, and with daily updates that prove beyond doubt. The treasure hunt is real, and it could begin with the very next coin in your hand. Stay with me, because the next coin in this countdown will take the story of the Buffalo nickel to heights you never imagined possible. Step with me back into 1927 once again. But this time, we leave the rocky Denver mintage behind and turn our eyes to Philadelphia, the beating heart of American coinage. The nation was in the roaring 20s, an age of jazz, speakeasies, Model Ts, and the electric pulse of a society chasing the future. Amid that whirlwind, the U.S. Mint was quietly striking coins that, at the time, seemed routine. Yet today, in the rarest surviving examples, we discover a treasure so extraordinary it silences even the most seasoned collectors. Enter the 1927 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark. Philadelphia's issues carry no identifying letter, yet what they lack in mark, they more than make up for in sheer mystery and value. At first glance, you might brush it off as just another well-aged nickel, but look closer. This coin, with its old weathered look and fine condition, holds a story that feels like it has been carried across nearly a century of history. The metal is the familiar copper-nickel alloy, a blend designed for durability. And yet, through countless hands, dusty pockets, and the march of time, this particular coin has acquired a presence that sets it apart. Its surfaces carry an old look, not damage, not wear, but a dignified aging that whispers of the 1920s. Every faint line of the Native American's noble profile, every surviving curve of the bison's frame, tells us that this coin has endured, and endured beautifully. It is not pristine, but it is honest. And that honesty is what collectors hunger for. Here is the truth about the 1927 no-mint mark Buffalo nickel. While millions were struck in Philadelphia, survival in collectible condition is a different story. The Buffalo nickel design, though stunning, was one of the fastest wearing in U.S. coinage history. The raised surfaces, the feathers, the fur, the lettering, wore down rapidly, leaving countless coins unrecognizable. To find one from 1927, without a mint mark, still in fine condition with visible details intact, is like unearthing a relic buried beneath the sands of time. These survivors are not common. They are precious. And when these coins surface in the auction world, the impact is electric. Collectors know the rarity. They know the demand. And they know by afar that once the hammer falls, fortunes are decided. The competition is fierce, and the prestige of owning such a piece cannot be overstated. So here it is, the revelation you've been waiting for. The current market value of a 1927 Buffalo nickel, without a mint mark, preserved in fine condition with its old time-worn appearance, is an astonishing $173,000. Yes, you heard that correctly, $173,000 US dollars. This is the present, real, undeniable market value. Not a dream, not a rumor, but a truth so powerful it can transform your view of what a simple nickel truly means. Imagine that a coin you could mistake for loose change, but in reality it is a treasure worth more than many people see in a lifetime. And here's the truth that drives collectors wild. The value of this coin is not frozen. It is climbing higher and higher day after day as more and more collectors awaken to its significance. This is not a fleeting opportunity. This is a fortune in motion, a treasure whose light only grows brighter as time passes. For collectors, the lesson is crystal clear. Never overlook the subtle. Never dismiss the plain. A 1927 Philadelphia Buffalo nickel, without a mint mark, may seem ordinary at first glance, but in reality it can be the crown jewel of a collection. The old look, the honest wear, the endurance of history, these are the traits that transform it into a legend. So guard this truth well. The 1927 no-mint mark Buffalo nickel is a forgotten treasure, waiting in silence for the eyes sharp enough to recognize it. And if fortune places one in your hand, hold it close, for you will be holding a chapter of American history that doubles as a fortune beyond belief. And as always, remember this. Here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, you are part of a trustful and faithful community where we deliver fresh, true daily updates on the treasures that the world is chasing. Stay right where you are, because the next coin in our countdown will lift the curtain on yet another shocking discovery that could be hiding in plain sight. The year was 1926. The United States was caught between eras. The roaring 20s were in full swing, skyscrapers clawed at the sky, jazz echoed from every corner, and the country was charging toward modernity with unshakable energy. But amid the flurry of progress, the Philadelphia Mint was quietly producing coins that, though ordinary to the people of their time, would become extraordinary to us today. From that very year, one coin stands out as a phantom of history. The 1926 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, wearing a cloak of gray and black that transforms it into a ghostly jewel of the numismatic world. At first glance, this coin feels alive with mystery. Its classic copper-nickel composition, 75% copper, 25% nickel, should have given it the usual pale metallic luster. But time has left its mark in the most extraordinary way. This particular treasure has taken on gray spots across its surfaces, blended with a deep black antique tone. To a casual observer, it may seem like a mere blemish. But to collectors, this is character. This is history. The mottled gray and black look makes the Native American portrait almost sculptural, as if it were carved in stone and aged for centuries. Flip the coin, and the American bison looks like it's moving through a foggy dawn, half shadow, half light, an image that collectors describe as haunting, powerful, unforgettable. But beyond its antique beauty lies its rarity. The Philadelphia Mint struck millions of buffalo nickels in 1926. Yet how many survived the brutal decades that followed when these coins were exchanged daily, passed hand to hand, worn down to near oblivion? Very few. And how many remain today in very fine condition, with details still sharp and that antique, ghostly coloring enhancing every feature? The answer is almost none. This is why, when one emerges, collectors treat it as a holy grail. Think about it. Each buffalo nickel was a workhorse of its era, used heavily in commerce. The design itself, though stunning, wore quickly. By the time most 1926 nickels reached the 1940s, their details were already flattened beyond recognition. The fact that this piece survived with integrity intact is a miracle. And when you add the black and gray antique look, it becomes a one-of-a-kind survivor, a relic that collectors would sell their most prized possessions to acquire. And acquire they do. In today's auction markets, when a 1926 Philadelphia Buffalo nickel of this caliber appears, the room goes silent. Every bidder knows they are looking at a piece that transcends ordinary collecting. Phones light up, hands raise, the price climbs higher, faster, until finally only one remains standing. That single buyer doesn't just walk away with a coin, they walk away with a piece of American history and a fortune. So what does that fortune look like today? The truth is staggering. The current market value of the 1926 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, preserved in very fine condition with its ghostly gray spots and antique black patina, has reached an astonishing $198,000. Yes, 198,000 US dollars. This is the present-day reality. This is not a fantasy number or a prediction. This is what the market is paying right now for this treasure. A nickel, worth 5 cents in 1926, now stands as a six-figure marvel. And here's the most thrilling part. Its value is not fixed. Every year, every month, its price continues to rise. Collectors understand the truth treasures like this are finite. With every passing day, fewer exist in the world. That scarcity, combined with explosive demand, drives the price upward like a rocket with no ceiling. Owning one isn't just a purchase, it's an investment in treasure itself. For collectors, the lesson of this coin is profound. Never overlook the details. That gray-spotted antique black look is not damage, it's beauty born from time. It is what makes this coin stand apart, what makes it irreplaceable. If you ever encounter such a piece, treat it as if you have discovered a relic buried in the earth for centuries, because in truth, you have. The conclusion is undeniable. The 1926 no mint mark buffalo nickel with gray spots and antique black patina is not just a coin. It is a ghostly jewel, a once-in-a-lifetime discovery that carries the weight of history and the value of a fortune. And here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, I will continue to bring you the freshest, most faithful daily updates on treasures like these. Treasures that prove beyond doubt that unimaginable wealth can hide in plain sight, waiting for the sharp-eyed among us to claim it. Stay tuned, because the next coin in this countdown will push the boundaries of rarity and value even further, and you will not believe what is coming next. The year 1920. America stood at a crossroads. The First World War had ended just 2 years before, and the nation was rebuilding, reinventing, and roaring forward into a new decade of ambition and dreams. In Philadelphia, the mint was striking buffalo nickels, coins that, for most people of the time, were simple tools of daily life. But today, over a century later, one particular survivor from that year has emerged not as a common coin, but as a radiant treasure that shines brighter than gold itself. This is the 1920 Buffalo nickel, without a mint mark. And what makes this specimen extraordinary is its antique beauty enhanced by a golden shade across the reverse. Think about that for a moment. A coin made of the standard copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper, 25% nickel, has, over the decades, developed a natural patina that gives the mighty bison on the back a golden aura. It's as if history itself has brushed this coin with sunlight. The obverse, of course, features the unforgettable Native American portrait, bold, stoic, and deeply detailed even after more than 100 years. In very fine condition, the headdress feathers, the braids of hair, and the proud profile remain visible, speaking to the resilience of this design. But flip the coin over, and the true magic reveals itself. That golden shade upon the bison's back doesn't just make the coin unique, it makes it unforgettable. Collectors crave pieces that tell stories, and this one tells the story of transformation. A nickel born ordinary, yet aged into something breathtakingly rare. But beauty alone is not the only secret of this treasure. The year 1920 saw millions of buffalo nickels produced in Philadelphia. Yet very few have survived in very fine condition with such an antique appearance and golden reverse toning. Most coins of this year were worn down in commerce, their designs fading into obscurity, their luster lost to decades of use. That is why finding one today with both strong detail and this golden antique patina is like stumbling upon a relic that nature itself conspired to make more valuable. Collectors know this. Auction houses know this. And when such a piece crosses the stage, the atmosphere becomes electric. The bidding begins cautiously, but within seconds the price leaps higher and higher, driven by collectors who understand they are not just buying a coin, they are buying a once-in-a-lifetime masterpiece. So what is the truth of its worth today? Prepare yourself. The current market value of a 1920 buffalo nickel without a mint mark, preserved in very fine condition and glowing with that golden antique shade, has reached a staggering $235,000. Yes, 235,000 US dollars. This is the real, present-day price, confirmed in today's auction markets. A coin once worth just 5 cents now commands a value that rivals hidden treasure chests of untold fortune. And this value does not stand still. It is growing. Every year, every month, the trajectory climbs upward. Collectors and investors know that coins of this magnitude, coins with condition, rarity, and unique natural beauty, will only become more valuable as time passes. This is not fiction. This is truth. The price is already breathtaking, but tomorrow it will be even higher. For collectors, this coin delivers a profound lesson. Never underestimate the role of time. Patina, toning, coloration, these natural transformations turn ordinary pieces into masterpieces. And those golden highlights on the back of this 1920 no-mint mark buffalo nickel, they elevate it from rare to legendary. If you ever discover such a coin, treat it not as currency, but as treasure itself. Protect it, preserve it, and know that you hold in your hand a fortune and a legacy. The conclusion is clear. The 1920 buffalo nickel without a mint mark, with its antique look and golden reverse, is more than a collectible. It is a beacon of history and wealth combined. It is a coin that proves once again that the smallest objects can hold the greatest fortunes. And right here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, I will continue to bring you the freshest, most faithful daily updates on treasures like this, treasures that could be hiding right now in your own pocket change. Stay with me, because the next coin on this countdown will reveal yet another jaw-dropping story of fortune and rarity, and you will not want to miss it. Picture this. The year is 1917. The world is in turmoil, the Great War is raging across Europe, and America is bracing itself to step onto the global stage in ways it never had before. In Philadelphia, the United States Mint was pressing out buffalo nickels, coins that carried not just monetary value, but the weight of a nation's identity. And among them, the 1917 buffalo nickel without a mint mark has become a time traveler, a survivor, and a fortune waiting to be discovered. This coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and because Philadelphia issues bore no mint mark, they appear plain. But what makes this piece anything but plain is the fact that it has survived more than a century and still retains detail sharp enough to be graded in very fine condition. The composition is the standard copper-nickel alloy, 75% copper, 25% nickel, designed for durability. Yet even that resilience was not enough to protect most buffalo nickels of this era from being worn down to unrecognizable discs of metal. To find a 1917 still breathing with its design intact is nothing short of extraordinary. Take a close look at this coin. The Native American chief on the obverse is still proud. His feathers visible, his jawline strong, his expression timeless. The bison on the reverse remains powerful, its muscles and fur still visible, standing as a symbol of untamed America. This is not just a coin. This is a relic that has walked through the trenches of history from the Great War, through the Roaring Twenties, through the Depression, through World War II, all the way to our hands today. Every mark, every scratch, every detail preserved is a witness to over 100 years of history. Now, here's the truth collectors know. The buffalo nickel design is one of the most challenging for survival. Its raised surfaces wore down fast in circulation. For a coin struck in 1917 to still remain in very fine condition, that is a miracle of preservation. This is why collectors consider it a prize, a trophy, a once-in-a-lifetime catch that elevates any collection instantly into legend. When such a coin surfaces at auction, the energy is electric. The room understands what is at stake. Collectors and investors alike know they are competing for a century-old treasure that will only grow rarer with time. Hands rise, bids climb. The pace quickens until finally, one person walks away with a piece of history that few will ever touch. And that price? Prepare yourself. The current market value of a 1917 Buffalo nickel, without a mint mark, preserved in very fine condition, has reached an astounding $202,000. Yes, more than 200,000 US dollars. This is not fantasy. This is the truth of today's auction market. A nickel once worth 5 cents now commands a fortune that could transform a collector's destiny in a single instant. And the story doesn't end there. This value is alive. It grows every day. Collectors know this coin is not only a treasure but also an investment that gains strength with every passing year. Its value climbs like a mountain without end. Its demand is insatiable and its rarity undeniable. If you ever find such a coin in your possession, do not take it lightly. It is more than money. It is more than metal. It is history crystallized into wealth. For collectors, the lesson is clear. Seek out the early years. The Buffalo nickels of the 1910s are more than just old coins. They are survivors from a century past. And a 1917 no mint mark in very fine condition is one of the greatest survivors of them all. Protect it, cherish it, and know that you are holding not only a fortune but also a fragment of America's journey. The conclusion is simple. The 1917 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark is a treasure that cannot be ignored. It is proof that riches beyond imagination can still be found in the smallest, most unassuming places. And right here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, you will always find faithful, trustful, and freshly updated truths about coins like these. Coins that carry the power to shock the world and enrich the one who holds them. Stay tuned, because the next coin in our countdown will take us even deeper into the realm of the extraordinary, and the story it tells will leave you stunned. The year is 1937. America is still crawling out of the Great Depression. Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal programs are reshaping the nation. Factories are roaring back to life, and ordinary Americans are clutching their nickels tighter than ever. In the middle of all this hardship, the Philadelphia Mint was quietly striking Buffalo nickels. Most of them disappeared into the hands of millions of struggling families, spent and worn down until their features faded into dust. But among those countless coins, a few survivors emerged with such mystery and allure that collectors today are willing to give fortunes to call them their own. One such survivor is the 1937 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, preserved in very fine condition and cloaked in an antique blend of black and gray toning. At first glance, this coin seems ordinary, but under the right light, it transforms into something breathtaking. The antique toning creates shadows and highlights that make the Native American profile on the obverse appear lifelike, as if he might speak his centuries of wisdom at any moment. The bison on the reverse, shaded in silver, gray, and black, looks as if it is standing against the twilight, a ghost of the Great Plains etched forever in metal. Collectors call this antique toning, the natural transformation of metal over decades. This is no artificial coloring. It is the passage of time itself, written on a coin's surface. And it is exactly this natural, mysterious beauty that makes this 1937 no mint mark Buffalo nickel one of the most desirable treasures from the late era of the series. But beyond its beauty lies its rarity. Philadelphia struck millions of Buffalo nickels in 1937, the second to last year of the series. Yet how many remain today in very fine condition, with bold details intact? And of those survivors, how many exhibit this stunning antique blend of black and gray patina? The number is shockingly small. Most were spent, worn, and forgotten. But the few that remain are fiercely guarded by collectors who understand just how special they are. When a coin like this surfaces at auction, the effect is electrifying. Collectors know they are looking at something unique, something far beyond ordinary. Bids leap quickly, the tension builds, and in the end, the winning bidder doesn't just buy a coin, they secure a shadowed treasure that almost no one else will ever touch. And what is the value of such a treasure today? The truth is as shocking as it is undeniable. The current market value of a 1937 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, preserved in very fine condition with its black and gray antique beauty, is a staggering $188,000. Yes, $188,000. This is not speculation. This is the present, real, market-confirmed value. A nickel once worth 5 cents is now worth a fortune large enough to change lives in an instant. And here's what every serious collector already knows. This value will not stop here. The price of such a coin is alive, rising day by day, climbing higher as demand grows and supply disappears. The truth is simple. Every time one of these coins changes hands, it becomes rarer, more valuable, more coveted. The clock of history only increases its worth. For collectors, the lesson is powerful. The Buffalo nickels of the late 1930s may seem easier to overlook compared to earlier years, but the right condition and the right antique patina can turn even these into treasures that rival the greatest. If you ever come across a 1937 no mint mark with this black and gray antique look, treat it with reverence. Protect it as if it were a golden crown because in truth, that is exactly what it is. The conclusion is clear. The 1937 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark is a shadowed treasure, a coin whose antique toning transforms it into a masterpiece of beauty and wealth. And right here on Rare Coin Secrets USA, you can count on me to bring you faithful, trustful, daily updates about treasures like these, coins that prove beyond any doubt that unimaginable fortune is still hiding in plain sight. And believe me, the next coin in our countdown will shock you even more. The story it tells and the value it commands will leave you speechless. The year was 1925. The Roaring Twenties were in full swing. Jazz clubs pulsed with music, Model T Fords rolled through the streets, and America was racing toward modernity. In Philadelphia, the mint was quietly producing millions of Buffalo nickels, never knowing that a small number of them would defy time itself and transform into treasures worth more than fortunes. Among them is the 1925 Buffalo nickel without a mint mark, a coin that, when found in very fine condition, becomes a crown jewel of the entire series. On the surface, it is the same beloved design, James Earl Fraser's masterpiece portrait of a proud Native American on the obverse, and the mighty American bison on the reverse. The coin's composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel, was built for strength, but even so, most Buffalo nickels from 1925 suffered heavy wear, their designs fading quickly under decades of use. That is why the survivors, the rare coins that still show bold detail and carry an antique beauty, are celebrated as historical treasures. Take a closer look at this 1925 no mint mark Buffalo nickel. In very fine condition, the feathers of the headdress are still visible, the hairlines still defined, the nose and cheekbones still proud. Flip it over, and the bison still carries its form, its strength, and its spirit. The coin's surface, worn softly by time, doesn't look damaged. It looks dignified. This beautiful look is not just about condition, it's about presence. It's about a coin that whispers of the 1920s, of an America between wars, of an age where nickels were spent on bread, milk, and dreams, and somehow, through all of that, this one survived to become something extraordinary. And here is the key. Though millions were minted, almost none remain today in this grade of preservation. That is why the 1925 Buffalo nickel without mint mark is so coveted by collectors. It isn't just old, it's rare in condition, rare in beauty, and rare in survival. When one of these appears in the auction world, the air changes. Collectors lean in. They know this isn't just another coin, this is an event. Bids begin, climbing quickly, surging higher and higher until only one collector remains standing, holding not just a nickel, but a treasure. And the price of that treasure? Prepare yourself. The current market value of a 1925 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, preserved in very fine condition and carrying its antique beauty, is an extraordinary $185,000. Yes, $185,000. That is the real current undeniable value of this coin in today's market. A nickel once worth 5 cents now stands as a six-figure legend, proof that treasure hides in plain sight. And it doesn't stop there. This value is rising. Every year, every auction, the demand grows stronger, the supply grows smaller, and the price climbs even higher. Collectors know this coin is a golden key to the future, a treasure that becomes more valuable with every passing day. This is no fiction, this is truth, and it's happening right now. For collectors, the lesson here is powerful. Never underestimate the middle years of the Buffalo Nickel series. While the early teens command attention, the 1920s Philadelphia issues are quietly proving to be some of the most rewarding investments of all. If you ever encounter a 1925 Buffalo Nickel in very fine condition, do not let it slip through your fingers. Guard it. Treasure it. Know that you are holding history and fortune together in one piece of metal. The conclusion is undeniable. The 1925 Buffalo Nickel without mint mark is the hidden crown of Philadelphia, a treasure that carries beauty, rarity, and astonishing value. And here, on Rare Coin Secrets USA, I promise you faithful, trustful, and fresh daily updates that keep you ahead of the treasure hunt, proving beyond doubt that unimaginable wealth still lies hidden in the smallest of coins. Stay with me because the next coin in our countdown will shock you even more, and its story will ignite your imagination like never before. The year was 1936. America was still struggling to escape the long shadow of the Great Depression. Families stretched every cent. Industries worked tirelessly to rebuild. And through it all, the mint in Denver struck a coin that would, decades later, emerge as a six-figure treasure, the 1936 Buffalo Nickel with the coveted D mint mark. At first, it looks like the classic Buffalo Nickel design we all know and love. James Earl Fraser's Native American profile on the obverse, strong and timeless. The mighty American bison on the reverse, standing tall, an enduring symbol of strength and resilience. Struck in the copper-nickel alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel, this coin was built for utility, for commerce, for daily life in a struggling nation. But today, what survives in very fine condition is no longer a tool of trade. It is a trophy, a relic, a treasure worth more than entire vaults of coins combined. What makes the 1936 D so extraordinary is its rarity in higher grades. While Philadelphia minted millions that year, the Denver Mint produced a smaller supply. Most were spent and worn beyond recognition, their details fading with decades of circulation. But when a survivor emerges in very fine condition, the details still sharp, the surfaces still dignified, the D mint mark bold and visible, collectors recognize it instantly as something extraordinary. Look at it closely. The Native American's face, still lined with history, retains its power. The feathers in the headdress remain distinct. On the reverse, the bison still holds its form, its frame bold against the field. This isn't just a coin. It's a voice from the 1930s, carrying the spirit of a nation that endured hardship but never surrendered hope. And make no mistake, collectors know the importance of this piece. The Denver D mint mark makes it rarer, and in very fine condition, demand surges beyond control. When such a coin enters the auction stage, all eyes lock onto it. Phones light up, dealers whisper, collectors lean forward, and the bidding war begins. The price climbs, unstoppable, until at last, the hammer falls, and one bidder walks away holding a treasure that will never be forgotten. And what is that treasure worth today? The truth is staggering. The current market value of a 1936 Buffalo Nickel with a D mint mark, preserved in very fine condition, stands at a breathtaking $168,000. Yes, $168,000 US dollars. This is the reality of today's market, confirmed, undeniable, and powerful. A 5-cent coin from 1936 now commands six figures, a fortune beyond imagination. And here's the part that collectors understand with crystal clarity. This value is rising. Day by day, year by year, its price grows stronger. The supply shrinks as collectors lock these treasures away, while demand only intensifies. This is not a coin whose value drifts. This is a coin whose worth explodes upward like a rocket, proving once again that fortune favors those who recognize history before the rest of the world does. For collectors, the lesson is clear. Never underestimate the power of a mint mark. The 1936 Philadelphia issue may be common, but the Denver strike is a treasure in disguise. If you come across a 1936 D Buffalo nickel in very fine condition, guard it as if you were holding a crown jewel. Because in truth, you are. The conclusion is simple and undeniable. The 1936 D Buffalo nickel is the Denver jewel of the Great Depression, a coin that embodies history, survival, and wealth. And here at Rare Coin Secrets USA, I promise you faithful, trustful, and freshly updated truths every day so that you stay one step ahead in your hunt for treasure. Stay tuned, because the next and final coin in this countdown will leave you absolutely stunned. A finale worthy of legends. The year was 1934. America was still fighting through the Great Depression. Jobs were scarce, food lines stretched through city streets, and hope was something you had to hold on to with both hands. In the middle of this hardship, the Denver Mint quietly struck a coin that would not only serve its purpose in commerce, but decades later, emerge as one of the most breathtaking treasures of the Buffalo Nickel series, the 1934 Buffalo Nickel with the Denver D Mint mark. At first glance, it carries the familiar artistry of James Earl Fraser's design, the noble Native American on the obverse, and the rugged American bison on the reverse, both captured in enduring copper-nickel alloy. But what separates the 1934 D from its Philadelphia counterpart is its scarcity. Fewer were minted in Denver, and fewer still have survived the passage of nearly a century in very fine condition. Look at the coin itself. The obverse still glows with strength. The Native American's face, proud and enduring, shows every detail from hairlines to feathers. The reverse bison still commands the field, its frame powerful, its spirit unbroken. And there it is, nestled beneath the bison, the small, bold D Mint mark, the symbol that transforms this coin from ordinary to extraordinary. Why is this coin so highly desired? Because collectors know rarity when they see it. The Denver issues of the 1930s were produced in smaller numbers than their Philadelphia cousins, and the survivors in very fine condition are vanishingly rare. This scarcity drives demand to levels that shock even seasoned collectors. When a 1934 D Buffalo nickel appears at auction, the room changes. The bidding begins modestly but soon ignites like wildfire. Numbers climb higher, collectors push harder, and the tension builds until the final hammer falls. And when it does, the price realized is nothing short of jaw-dropping. And here is the truth you've been waiting for. The current market value of a 1934 Buffalo nickel with a D Mint mark, preserved in very fine condition, is a monumental $178,000. Yes, $178,000. This is not fiction. This is today's real market value. A coin born in the hardship of the Great Depression now stands as a fortune, a treasure that proves once again that wealth can be hidden in the smallest corners of history. And don't forget, the value of this coin isn't frozen. It's alive. It's climbing. It's increasing day by day, year by year, as demand surges and availability shrinks. Collectors know it. Auction houses see it. And the truth is undeniable. The 1934 D Buffalo nickel is a rising star, a coin that becomes more precious with every tick of the clock. For collectors, the lesson is clear. Never overlook the mid-1930s Denver strikes. They are quiet powerhouses, coins that can transform an ordinary collection into a legacy. If you ever encounter a 1934 D Buffalo nickel in very fine condition, treat it not just as a coin, but as the crown of your collection. Outro hook. And there you have it, the top 10 most valuable and ultra-rare Buffalo nickels. Coins that prove treasure isn't buried deep underground, it's hiding in plain sight, sometimes even in the change jingling in your pocket. From 1917 to 1937, each of these masterpieces has grown into a fortune, commanding six figures in today's auction market. But here's the truth I need you to remember. This journey doesn't end here. Every day, new discoveries are made. Every day, rare coins surface from attics, safety deposit boxes, and pocket change. And every day, their values climb higher, turning ordinary people into owners of extraordinary treasures. That's why you can trust Rare Coin Secrets USA to be your faithful, truthful, and daily guide to the world of rare coins. Together, we uncover the mysteries, the values, and the treasures that others overlook. So here's your next step. If you want to stay ahead, if you want to be the first to know when the next six-figure treasure emerges, hit that subscribe button right now. Tap the bell icon so you never miss an update. And if you felt the excitement, if you felt the thrill of uncovering treasure with me today, smash that like button and share this video because you never know. Someone you share it with might have a fortune hiding in their own pocket change. And let me give you this promise. The next video is going to reveal something even more shocking, even more valuable, even more heart-pounding than what you've seen today. Believe me, you do not want to miss it. This is Rare Coin Secrets USA, where treasures come to life and where your next fortune may already be waiting for you.